Henry Louis Gates Jr. What? You remember the Africa series that our great webmaster at the time did? That great Africa series? That was about Henry Louis Gates Jr., about his claiming that Africa is the greatest part of civilization and the origins of all civilization are in Africa. You know, that's like saying that the origin of human culture comes from a gorilla. I mean, it's absurd. There is nothing in Africa that resembles culture. This piece of garbage, Henry Louis Gates, lied, and PBS sponsored him, and Harvard University sponsors him and calls him a so-called professor. He's a moron. He's an affirmative action moron. He's an ignoramus who knows nothing about history, knows nothing about anything. He became a professor solely because of his race. And then all he does is complain about it because he knows he's inferior and he's self-conscious about it. And so all he does is complain about it. He hates Whitey. And of course, his friend would be Barack Hussein Obama. You had cops, including a black cop, that came to his home because he and his chauffeur come to his home. They come to the house, right? They come back from a trip to China. This guy travels all around the world, by the way, paid for by Whitey. Whitey pays for his trips. Whitey gives him millions of dollars. Whitey gives him titles that he doesn't deserve. Whitey makes him an honored person. Whitey gives him series on PBS on Africa where he travels all around the world and becomes the big expert on Africa, this moron. He can lie on television and Whitey confirms everything. Oh yes, everything you're saying is true, Professor Gates. Yes, the blacks are the most brilliant people. The blacks are the ones that brought culture to the world. The blacks were the great civilized people. The blacks had the great universities in Africa, the great universities in Africa. To this day, they smear doo-doo all over their faces and their bodies to keep the flies off. And because they worship doo-doo. Anyway, he comes with his... Who knows what he did to his door? It was stuck. You know, I mean, he lives in a beautiful multi-million-dollar mansion, and his door is stuck. You know, I mean, they don't take care of their houses. They don't take care of anything. So him and his and he has a chauffeur. So him and his shvartza chauffeur, the two black men in a fancy neighborhood, start trying to push the door in. So one of the neighbors got nervous and said, "What is this? They're two black men and they're trying to force." What would you think if you see two black men trying to force the door in a house? She called 911. The police from the Cambridge Police Department came over. And they already had forced the door open. They got in the house, Henry Gates and his chauffeur. So the police come in the house. They knock on the door. Henry Gates answers the door. And they ask him to please produce some identification to prove that he belongs in the house. Which is, by the way, what they would do in any situation where you get a report like this, regardless of race. And one of the officers who came was a black officer. They asked him, "Can you please produce some identification so that we can see that you actually belong in the house?" He starts screaming at them and calling them racist and screaming at them and badgering them and harassing them. And he wouldn't stop. So finally they arrested him for disorderly conduct. They should have done worse, but anyway, they arrested this piece of garbage for disorderly conduct.
"Yeah, you just do it because you're a racist. Yeah, because you do it because I'm black. Because you're a racist. That's why you be doing it. Mm-hmm."
Arrogant, stupid, ignorant piece of garbage. And so, the orangutan in the White House, Barack Hussein Obama, right away has to say that they acted stupidly. He immediately sides with them. I mean, Barack Hussein Obama is such an obvious racist. What an obvious racist. He automatically sides with the blacks against the whites on everything. Automatically. And calls the police, a president of the United States getting involved in a local police matter and calling the police stupid. This is unprecedented. Anyway, the head of the police union in Cambridge said it best when he said that the adjective that Barack Hussein Osama used when he referred to the police as stupid. He said the adjective was correct, but he used it for the wrong party. That's my view of the arrest of Henry Louis Gates, Jr.